There's been a whole party at the Grim Gate. You were talking about Malabuka, Murstache, one of the most dominant duos in Fortnite history. They can't make it off spawn. They can't even make it past like the first 10 seconds, Jacob. It shows how difficult it can be when you're triple contested at the most popular POI on the map. But we're gonna check out another, I'm gonna call it a 50-50 here because it's a pickaxe battle. Eclipse, Deckzee, who's coming out on top here. The candy cane chest though gonna get opened up. Weapon in hand now. Kovacs is gonna be the first one going down.
He just completely ran from the chest. He was down on the pickaxe, so he can't necessarily go for it. 3 more swings, he would have been down. Sleeves stand by himself. Knows a bunch of players around, but Deckzee and Eclipse got to know he's there, and building that gives away a huge audio hint of where he's at. But he does have such a good loadout already, minus the shield. So if this does come down to just a few shots making the difference, I might not be too surprised if he clutches this 1v2.
I mean, it's possible. We've seen a lot of kind of turnarounds throughout the day, from 2v1 advantages to the solo popping off. It's a little bit more difficult when you don't have materials though, especially right off the spawn, right off the start. He kind of is gonna have to catch a player by surprise, but hopefully they're gonna be playing quite together. This could be an opportunity here if he can hit a big shot, but he's gonna actually get spotted here, which is devastating, to be fair. This is gonna make it a lot more difficult.
Yeah, you see him trying to play with the audio, fake runaway on one side, but now he's basically trapped himself. Deckzee and Eclipse saw that one. No edits to get out. They immediately bull rush their way in, get both of those eliminations, and the rest of Rebels Roost to themselves.
Taking a look now, Grim Gate, Murstache, Malabuka have made it off the start. They've actually got a loadout this time. I think this is the most weapons they've had throughout the day, so the more loot this duo has, the more materials they have, the more everything they have, it just brings that probability up of them coming out on top. I mean, they are a dominant duo, but they do need at least a bit of loot and materials to put those skills to good use. Xandy, Turtle, though, are going to be the ones above. It's going to kind of be a standoff at Grim Gate. So meanwhile, let's take a look at Giraz and Cherry here by the fencing fields. Only 2 builds, Jacob. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, not the best position to be in, but you've seen a lot more early game fights in certain areas around the map. Teams just trying to bully their way to more loot, get some surge early on. They don't have to worry about it. Makes it easier for them to position themselves. You see Deckzee moving in. We talked about the third-party potential. And because of them being alive off spawn, Malabuka or Murstache, they know that that other team that was originally uncontested due to the wins now has to worry about them. And you see another team to the north moving in. You see another team to the northeast watching in this direction. So with everybody staying alive this time around at Grim Gates, this one is going to be busier than a buffet.
Where's our invite, Jacob? There was a whole festival going on here and we didn't even get a ticket for Deckzee trip. Now are gonna see if they can pick up that coin, but with the amount of players in the surrounding area, like you said, Jacob, I don't think anybody is gonna have a lot of time to get this medallion. So as the base kind of gets built, and even a retake for the high ground position above the building there, Xandy and Turtle almost giving it up. They're not even really fighting for it. Murstache, Malabuka down in the middle. I can't even tell you what's going to happen here. We just kind of have to wait and see.
Yeah, it almost looks like, you know, Xandy, Turtle, kind of giving this one up. Don't really want to contest for it. They haven't necessarily been getting it at all. Even in some of those games that they did take out Malabuka Murstache off of spawn, it still wasn't in their inventory. Tripping in for Deckzee, the opportune moment, moving in towards Grim Gates, securing not only the actual medallion, but the position around it as well. And they're in second place when it comes to players still active on this one, but revenge, even though they don't get the medallion, Malabuka Murstache take down their counterparts.
Turtle put right back into his shell, as Malabuka's gonna hit him with a quick little dance. Feeling good after a rough first 2 games. Let's see how that actually ended up happening. Turtle was already dropped low. Xandy, though, from full HP to annihilated. What are they gonna do about the medallion, though?
I don't think there's much they can do, because Deckzee and Trippin ain't staying around to fight the next guy. They're rotating on over for
they're gone
where they hope to be next. And this is where I look at a team like this. I just mentioned it. Out of the teams that have not qualified for the finals just yet, they are in second place, down by 12 points to Kiro and Mappy. And with how consistent they've been playing through those 2 games, I wouldn't be surprised to see them walk away with the victory here in game 3, but they still have to earn it. There's a ton of game left to go.
This is a dangerous place to be in with the zone pulling further away. Nako, though, he's lost his duo partner, but his opponent as well. So it is a 1 versus 1 for these 2 teams. There are players in the surrounding area, but it looks like a disengagement's going to come through. Does he see that duo on the hill, though? You got to be careful, as now he's cracked, dropped to 27 HP. Aggression is onto Nako. Huge shot onto his opponent, but unable to close it out.
Yeah, Zangi almost got embarrassed right there. Turned and burned. Shield's gone, but Darky and Teensy were the ones kind of forcing that one. I say Dre and Darky forced him outward. Now Teensy's the one that's trying to survive as a solo. That's not going to take you nowhere. So he's just sitting in the porta potty in zone. And I don't.
Had to take a bathroom
does that
break.
Team know
but,
he's still in there though, or do they think he looped somewhere around the map?
I think they think he appeared somewhere else. This might be the 5-head move that puts us apart from these top tier EU veteran players, Jacob. That might have just worked. Okay. Dre, Darky, still just kind of chilling. They might be doing it on purpose, pretending they don't know that he's in there right now, just waiting for him to jump out. But to be fair, they're not even looking at the porta potty, sorry, so.
Yeah, rightfully so. That Zangi and his duo that kind of moved in, they're the ones that are taking a lot of the focus from Dre and Darky. Now that the zone's moving in, even if they do know he's there, how long do you wait? Use a lot of the damage from Storm, use a lot of the heals, but for now, it does look like Dre. 4 floppers, 10 bandages. He's at least, at the very minimum, staggering himself for Storm Surge. Sees Teensy off the side, so he knows that he's still there. He knows he's still alive. It's about, do you go on the chase or do you worry about zone?
Yeah, he saw him pop the banana. It's not really worth it at this point, in my opinion, being far from zone. Teensy, though, he's going to go for a reboot, I assume. I mean, he has a bit of time with the heals, but it's going to be very difficult to make a comeback, especially one that's going to be strong enough to get that Victory Royale. But remember, it's not just for the Victory Royale, as the top 25 duos on the leaderboard after this day 1 of the semifinals will continue onto the upper bracket of day 2. If you don't get to top 25, then you're going to go down to the lower bracket, which is going to make it more difficult to qualify to grand finals.
It really could go down to the last game, because if you look at the threshold right now for 25th place, it's only 32 points. And so it could still be anybody's game. I know there's still 3 more games to go before that one is solidified, but you see Sanguild, Marius, game after game, they're just adapting quicker and quicker each and every time. Game 1, down to Surge. Game 2, on the line. Game 3, eliminations very, very early on. That's what we saw Reason and Vidil do. It worked out. They got the win in Game 2. So you can imagine making the proper adjustments at the right time could yield so many results.
Getting the job done. As now, we're going to continue rotating kind of edge of the zone here, which is solid if you have a lot of damage. If not, it can make it a bit difficult. But to be fair, rotations in general, especially recently, are incredibly difficult with the amount of surge bases like the one that Chicho's on right now. Because not only can you make a surge base, but if you have those bush bombs, you can even place one up top, and it makes it much more difficult for you to get tagged or shot at from duos in the surrounding area. So if you are rotating through a section of the map that has a lot of people boxed up waiting for you, oh, be careful. Wait, this could be tragic. Malabuka, no more shield.
And you can see what they're fighting for. It's not even necessarily the medallion that Fordoxy and Trippin were able to stay away. It's the bunker that has already opened up. Nobody really wants to trap themselves down there. Trippin and Fordoxy, this is big. They have a huge advantage with the medallion, but if they lose this opens up so many doors for Malabuka and Mustache. And there's another team. There's a 3rd team slowly but surely moving in, crouching, waiting for somebody to go down before they make their presence known.
Sniper rifle in hand, 1 quick scope.
A 4th team
Could change the game here. But this is getting more and more risky. an emergency. This isn't a safety bunker anymore. As the risk levels increase, they have to decide if it's worth it to stay and continue this box fight. I mean, it's a good option to get damage. Malabuka already has 2 elims. They were off the start, though. For Deckzee, crouching up with the sniper rifle, jumps right into the box, unable to connect the shotgun shot now, though. Malabuka with the upper hand. For Deckzee's cracked, knocked down. 2 versus 1. Mustache is low, though. Gonna take time. Recuperate some shields here. They did get that medallion now. Trip, you've got to pull out something crazy here.
It's going to be hard for him to disengage as well. I talked about the third party. I mentioned a little bit of the fourth party. They're the ones that are going on the chase for that solo, and you can see it in the feed. Trippin goes down to V. He is taken out, sent back to the lobby, and what could have been a big game for them. Stealing away the medallion, stealing away the mythic loot. It all gets tossed away to one fight for Malabuka and Mustache. And now you look at a team like Malabuka and Mustache, the Major 1 champions. They have a chance to really make a statement now that they have all that loot.
I'm not even in the match, Jacob, and I'm feeling scared right now. From the first 2 games, we talked about it. You can go from nothing to everything. All you need is the victory royale in a duo like Malabuka and Mustache. Medallion in hand, bunker loot in hand. The only thing that could go wrong here is if Finn and Kentic manage to maybe catch them off guard and knock down one of them very quickly here as they're going out of the bunker. But they should know there was a lot of duos in the surrounding area and keep caution as they kind of disengage from it. So hopefully they don't run into any issues here, but this is it, Jacob.
This is where they're really going to be tested. And I feel like they are going to be careful when they try to leave this bunker. You know, after playing, you know, scrims, even if these guys play ranked, you know, cash cups, it's almost a threat loom around almost every one of these bunkers that players do move into the distance. And being at Malabuka or Mustache, I just hope they don't forget the fundamentals when trying to leave this bunker.
No way. There's no way that they don't play cautious here. As now, a reminder, you know, top 25 is going to be that cutoff. So for these duos on the edge, it's just one game. We said it, 34 points basically. And Mustache and Malabuka being in 38th spot, all the points they've gotten has been from this match, but they're not looking for that top 25. You know that they want something more. They want to close this game out. But if Finn is able to land a big shot here, if either player is able to catch one off guard, it could lead to the demise. Mustache is actually the player that's lower here. No shield to work with. He needs to get out. They see that crack now. They know they have the upper hand instead of HP and shield. Malabuka cracked as well. He gets knocked. The 2 versus 1 from everything to nothing. Finn securing 1 elim. Can he close it off?
Wow. Even though he doesn't actually get the elim onto Mustache, a huge haymaker on from Malabuka. He goes down. Blurfire from the third party comes in and finishes that one. And they get all the rewards. They get the mythic loot. They get the dash coin. They get everything that they've fought for. But this, I will say, Takada, is the second time. It's the second time they've been able to get the loot. They were unsuccessful the first time around. So hopefully the trend of the day is going to be adjustments and they figure out a way to make it work.
That's crazy. What a tragic way to go down. There is more opportunities for Malabuka and Mustache. 2 more matches today. So we'll see if they can make something happen for Misha. Oh, good night, Axe Force. That's not a way you like to go down, but it's not easy to hit a shot like that. The table's almost turned, though. We can see that was the replay, so the both players are back up. No eliminations came from that, but a good amount of damage did.
Yeah, and you see they got what they came for. Instead of overstaying their welcome, just on the edge of zone, they're going to try to move their way in. But one of those huge towers that we talked about in the pregame, kind of gatekeeping their way out. It'll be tough for them to rotate in, but as long as it doesn't get over congested on this side, it won't be too much to worry about. Rift Island, something that we see game after game after game, only actually has 1 team right now. Maybe it is a little bit too early. Nobody rotated in this direction just yet, but that gives Kira Mappy the freedom to farm up, to loot, gate the position that they want before any team touches the island.
Nice tags from the DMR here. 55 damage just from 1 shot connecting can be huge. What I'm curious to see, though, Jacob, we saw Vico pop off last game alongside Pink. You can see them down below here under the Rift Island. Now, they only spent a total of 90 seconds on high ground during the qualifiers, which is one of the lowest of any of the teams competing today. But both matches have been won by duos on the high ground for the first 2 matches of today. So will they be the first duo to kind of turn the tables and take home a VR from the low ground? Or are they going to say, you know what, we're done. We're going back to height. And we're taking it from there. I want to see the first option. I want to see them continue dominating low and getting a high elim VR, but only time will tell.
Yeah, they started this game 6th place in the overall leaderboard. From teams left in the lobby, only 4th is Bebbies and Pablo, 19 below the damage threshold, which isn't much. Just a couple cheeky shots, spraying through some of the bushes, spraying through some of the builds is all it's really going to take, but without anybody taking the bait or even really giving them an opportunity. Oh. And it gets fired back. Marius with a huge snipe takes him down, leaving Bebbies by himself. You see him already struggling, panicking, trying to move around. Marius with another couple of shots, bleeding through some of these builds, forcing Bebbies in just an inferior situation. Forced to go up. He gets taken down. Sangling and Marius find 2 more eliminations in the mid game.
What a way to go down. Marius full boxing his opponent, but just like that, the snap of the fingers, he is taken out, knocked to the ground. And I believe Sangild is just going to get out of there. He's going to let Marius get fully finished. This has been a quick turn of events for so many duos in this match, from the headshot snipe to Malabuka Merstash caught off guard to just 2 back-to-back double shotgun shots to take out Marius. I mean, duos are going from everything to nothing literally in seconds.
Okay, seeing how he landed that cheeky from the bush. Immediately kind of rotated and moved on over. Even though Marius is down, Sangild's back up. If you look and remember where the zone pulled so far away from where they're positioned, they can try to get the reboot card back up. But it almost looks like this Grimgate medallion is more of a curse than anything. Finn finds himself in another tough spot. His duo is knocked. Flare he was the one that originally got the elimination on the final member of Malabuka Merstash, but it's Finn who's going to be left standing thanks to Velry and Various kind of disrupting this whole fight. A blessing in disguise, because now you can see his teammate is back up and they're ready to go with the loot still in hand.
Nice little snatch. I almost thought it was Finn that secured that elim at the start, but quickly enough, it was the other duo in the surrounding area. So now both teams have freedom to rotate to zone. Using those dashes, they can make it quickly, and being 342 above, they don't even have to focus on looking for too many tags here. You can see Rift Island now. That's no longer in zone. The rifts are being put to good use. The players, there are box below. Launchpad from the rift. Anything to make it into zone here.
Seeing how annoying that waterbending ability can actually be. Players flying through the sky don't even have the same safety. 143 below. Every time he tries to peek and take a tag, he gets some damage. But there's just so much pressure. Multiple teams now spraying this cover. Hydro and Hootie have to figure out a way to survive, even if it's a sliver of HP. The onslaught, the barrage that was once coming their way has slowed down, giving them a second chance to try to get this HP back on up. But it's now Storm Surge that's doing a brunt of this damage, with another team moving on to the distance. Hydro with a big shot. Not really enough to get him over the damage threshold, but he's not backing down from a challenge. Second chance to charm. He's able to get above the damage threshold, but not by much.
And there it is. Not enough time. Storm Surge gets the better. Sky Jump now. Left with 2 bananas. 63 HP. You got to pop one now. As the shots continue coming in from afar, you have to be careful, though. This is not the position you want to be in. You either wait it out or do some damage. Big pot getting popped. One more banana. Flowberry doing anything he can. It's just 40 below. It's not like he needs a lot of damage. But with players continuing to break in, they know he's low. They know he's healing up. Sky Jump gets sent back to the lobby.
Yeah, that's the second time Zangi was able to get an elimination by sneaking up on a player who's distracted, trying to run away. It's opportunities like that that are huge and make a huge impact for the rest of the game. Top 25 right now, Takada, for as much action, as much game as we've seen up until this point. Barely now are teams and players getting any points for their placement.
You can see Hydro, even though they did pick up that elimination, only 52 above. 29 duos, 48 players, 7th zone. We're just in the middle of all the chaos here. Players packed together, up close and personal, seeing if they can take some shots at the players around them. Even a little box fight just to get a bit of damage. Players rotating into. Eyes are on them.
Nobody going down just yet. See a little bit of a replay. Pink and Vico catching out one, just trying to get away and immediately beeline in that direction for loot. You talked about their 90 seconds on low ground. It's probably because they find elimination after elimination like that to make sure they have enough loot on that low ground. So it doesn't matter if they build their way or consistently jump their way to the front side of the zone. They're always prepared for anything to come their way.
For Sky and Scroll, though, great job looking back on zone and applying pressure to those duos that have to rotate. Joke's on me. It's actually Sky and Scroll that has to rotate, though. But they're doing a good job of doing damage here. 12 above. It's going to be a difficult rotate, to be fair. They are the only duo there, basically. But crossing a river is never easy. They'll probably have to go more towards where Marius is and do a longer rotate. They do have some bananas. Hopefully they don't have to use them, though. A Flowberry would be perfect here to give them that mobility boost. But they do want more damage.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a necessity, but 31 above is not a true feeling of comfortability, knowing it changed at the drop of a hat. And you can see them looking all around. Players that are rotating the front of zone, players side that have to find a way to mirror that rotation. While everybody's kind of stuck in between, down below the river, Deckzee and Eclipse have find a way to have some sense of the high ground. But 8th zone, we've seen it already today alone, let alone throughout the qualifiers, that sometimes 8th zone might be a little too early because a Flowberry Fizz, a legendary banana backside of zone can overtake you if you don't have that awareness.
I mean, Reason Video made it happen. They got it first zone, lost it, but they were able to get it again. Veno, though, Tayson, be careful. They get their elimination, but drop to 25 HP in the zone, taking lower and lower by the second. As pressure down below, opponent right into the box, takes both players out.
The chain of Hades. He just gets into the box, puts them in the blender, and makes a Veno and Tayson smoothie. Huge eliminations there, taking superstars out of the game. But Trulex and Chicho, from the monuments throughout the game to get them to surge to ultimate low ground on the side of the mountain, they know where this zone is going. There's not too many high elevations, so they're trying to prepare and be one of the first teams to low ground at the front side of the zone.
Got confused for a second. I thought I saw 72 hours in the match using that chain of Hades, but putting it to work as Marius now. Like you said, good job of staying ahead here, but you can see, we talked about Vico and Pink loving the low ground. It's exactly where they're staying. They want to change those high ground VRs that we've seen in the previous matches. They want to take one from low. And as Sky and Scroll now continue to rack up eliminations, they still are lacking a bit of materials here.
Almost a great opportunity there to land a good shot. 343, they only have to worry about getting the zone, but Pink goes down. Vico left by himself. Pressure coming in from different directions. And he's simultaneously running out of builds, forced down low into the water, but at least he's in zone. He's able to grab these dashes. That's going to be best case scenario. Now that knowing that he's by himself, he doesn't have to play as a duo. There's going to be a lot of flexibility coming out of Vico here.
Making use of the dashes. You said it yourself. Good job. Staying ahead here. Conserving materials, recycling previous builds, but you got to be careful. As you keep recycling, there is that potential for a duo to be in there. Eclipse, Deckzee have been able to hold on to high ground.
Top 13 situation. Vico trying to utilize those dashes, gets tagged up, trading shots back and forth, but finds some old builds and finds somebody trying to stay alive in the corner. Great opportunity for Vico and a huge refresh. He gets replenished by both loot and materials.
Only 13 builds, though. It should be able to get him ahead of zone here with those dashes, but quickly enough, he's gonna need another refresh. It's a full duo close by, though. You do not want to be put into this situation, but the turnaround. Vortexer's now left alone as Volko got annihilated. Will he go to pick up his duo partner, or he's just gonna take the loot and leave? Mats have been dropped, playing as a solo, as now Chicho and Trulex continue to get ahead.
And this is their chance to really show what they're made of. The story for them this season has been redemption from Major 1, failing to make that grand finals. And they know how good of a team they can actually be. and they're holding their position. You can see them passing around the materials as well, making sure both players are healthy because they know this one will come down to the wire, especially since it's top 6 with only one solo alive.
A lot of duos on the low mid ground here. It's danger to try and stay up. This is very good for the duo on high ground that I believe is still Deckzee, who's up above. Have they held on to it is the question. Yes, they have. Eclipse and Deckzee looking incredibly strong. We might continue our trend and see another victory royale from Height.
Yeah, they have the 2 legendary bananas and Frizzy just under pressure. Howley already taken down. Sky from one to the next. He finally drops top 4 situation, but it's Marius, it's Sandguild. They're trying to gatekeep. They're trying to be the final boss in their path. It doesn't matter if they're going directly at him or attacking from below. They will find him either way as another elimination gets cleaned up. Top 3, Takata.
Marius charging up. That's 6. Can he make it 7? Gets knocked down. It's Trulex that gets the elimination, though. Now, just the duo up above. Deckzee has dropped. He's trying to clean this out, see if he can hold Trulex off or even connect that huge shot. And it's just 1 second away. One little shot, 1 tick from zone is all it's going to take for Deckzee and Eclipse to take this home. It was a matter of time, and they have done it, Jacob.
That was just a huge moment for them because throughout the course of them holding the high ground, very few teams even looked back. When you have Venno and Tayson back to the lobby, when you have Seti and Cammy already in the finals, Reason and Vidil already in finals, there's nobody left to look up. And since nobody looked up, they looked down and they looked ahead because now they're in the finals.
Looked ahead right to the grand finals. I mean, you said it yourself, the only duo was Tayson and Venno, but unfortunately, while they were going for high ground, Chain of Hades annihilated both of them instantly in the box, which left Eclipse and Deckzee with a free high ground, just cleaned it up in those last moments and secured their spot in the grand finals.
And you're seeing exactly why high ground is winning some of these games, because throughout the course, multiple games, Pink and Vico on the low ground looking like they have that victory in their grasp, but they just run into one too many teams. And it was Trulex and Chicho in that last game looking so strong, but they ran into the maker. They got sent back to the lobby, unable to win that game. But with 3 games down, I'm going to throw it back on over to the desk to let us know what the leaderboard is looking like.